there being shadow people and Hat Man. All of a sudden, ooh, it's night terrors and sleep paralysis. And like, and they just so happened to see the same darn thing, a man in a hat and a suit. I'm thinking that that's a bunch of baloney there, George, because, yeah, I think people have nightmares, but not to have these types, these patterns. And yes, there is that element of sleep paralysis. Some people we get that, you know, you're about to wake up and you're groggy, but you're not seeing things, you know. This is something else. And this is the thing, you know, we're also adamant and eager to say that, you know, there's nothing to this, you know, but it's placing its bets on us not to figure it out. And it's time, George. It really is. And, you know, George, I did a show recently where I spoke of something new in regards to Hat Man that I haven't put out there before because I know his name now.
What's his name?
His name is Ahriman.
That sounds biblical. Doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? It does. It does. It's this entity that is known in the Arabic world for a demonic creature. But he's also something that Rudolf Steiner had put out there. And I imagine this, George. So a friend of mine got me, trying to have me watch some of these certain videos with a lot of names I'm just not like, didn't float nicely to my ear, so I really couldn't pay attention really well. And then I see this image of this sculpture that Rudolf Steiner did, and he's the founder of anthroposophy out of theosophy and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, who did that sculpture of Hat Man? And it's like, what? You know, I'm like, who did that sculpture of Hat Man? And that is the creature, Ahriman. And he has a very, very distinctive face. In the early days, when I got people drawing Hat Man, the original, the origin Hat Man, it looks just like Ahriman. Now, the images of some of the Hat Men that people draw, people are like, is there more than one Hat Man? I think I saw a freckled one. And I'm like, yeah, there's just one. But he's building an army.
Are you ever concerned about your own safety since you've dabbled in this a lot?
You know, I'm more worried about people around me who don't protect themselves. I'm pretty confident in my level of faith and protection. I think in the beginning I was more nervous because I didn't know what I was dealing with. But having had the encounters that I've had, I have come on your show to share I had some Jesus encounters, and I was a skeptic of such things, you know. So after I have my own experiences like that, I feel like I cheated in my faith level to be like, you know, I'm okay, and I protect my space. And when people reach out to me, sometimes they do report having increased activity, and I try to tell them, you know, take that as a compliment. He's scared. You know, Hat Man, shadow people, they're scared.
Interesting. Stay with us, Heidi. We'll be back in a moment with more. I want to talk with you about angels, something positive, and see if you've ever come across those. And then we'll take calls with you next hour on Coast to Coast AM.
Don't forget to watch our TV show, Beyond Belief with George Norrie. Simply go to beyondbelief.com.
From the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The CHP has arrested a Costa Mesa couple believed responsible for the May 21st road rage shooting death of 6-year-old Aiden Leos on the 55 in Orange. Marcus Ayres and Wynn Lee are each being held on $1 million bail. Ayres and Lee are boyfriend and girlfriend. They are expected to face murder charges. Britain's royal family is offering congratulations to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle on the birth of their baby girl, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. The Clippers are keeping LA's hope for an NBA championship alive. A 126-111 Game 7 victory over Dallas propels the Clips to the conference semifinals, where they'll meet Utah tomorrow night. Southland weather from KFI, cloudy and some drizzle this morning. You'll see some sunshine later this afternoon. Highs in the low 70s, inland mid-60s at the coast, about the same tomorrow. Right now it's 61 in Westminster, San Clemente 60, Century City 61, and in Glendale 61 degrees. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Phil Hewlett.
Making your way through Irwindale, westbound 210 before Irwindale Avenue. You have a wreck involving a big rig and two other cars. Vehicles on the right shoulder. Big rig partially blocking the right lane. CHP's in the scene. They're waiting on a big flatbed tow truck to arrive. Alhambra, eastbound 10 before Garfield. Cleanup after a wreck and car fire. Crews still blocking a couple of lanes. A little heavy here coming away from Atlantic. And it's roadwork in La Mirada, southbound 5 from Alondra to Artesia. 3 right lanes are coned off. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Ryan Duggan.
If you or your family have been financially impacted by COVID-19, this pandemic is not your fault, and new California laws have been passed to help.
That's right. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage or run up credit card or business debt, please listen carefully.
Our friends at Oak Tree Law know every letter of the new laws, and just listen to these real examples of how they've helped our listeners.
A nurse from Torrance had her hours cut due to COVID-19. She was hit with medical issues of her own, racked up $160,000 in debt, and fell behind on her mortgage. With this new law, she was able to get current on her mortgage and eliminate the bad debt.
Here's a story about a real estate agent and her husband in Pasadena. Their income stopped when the pandemic hit. Their second mortgage was threatening to foreclose, and they had $75,000 in credit card and business debt. This new law allowed them to protect their home and eliminate the debt.
This pandemic has affected us all, but there is life-changing help available with one absolutely free call to Oak Tree Law.
800-542-2949, 800-542-2949, or visit OaktreeLaw.com.
Hi, this is Larry Miller from Sit and Sleep. You know, there's a lot that's new at Sit and Sleep.
Yeah, like me. Hi, I'm Drew Miller, Larry's son, and I'm proud to be the third generation of the Miller family to work at Sit and Sleep.
Only Sit and Sleep has Bed Match that scientifically recommends the right mattress for you.
Plus, you can shop the way you want, in-store, online, or a combination of the two.
And we'll beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free!
You still got the pipes, Dad.
Thanks, son.
Getting families vaccinated against COVID-19 is an important step to bringing back joy for all of us. That's within reach now that the Pfizer vaccine is proven safe and effective for those 12 and older. This is the same vaccine millions of Californians have already gotten. California is even adding new vaccine clinics specifically for young people. Together, we can end the pandemic. Visit vaccinateall58.com or call 833-422-4255 to learn more.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk.
Why don't people listen to us? The listeners listen to us. Just listen to us. Follow our lead. We know what we're talking about.
John and Ken, weekdays 2 to 6 on KFI. KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk.
M.com.
Gotta
the City of Angels, Premier Networks presents Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Heidi Hollis, our special guest, as we talk about shadow people and the Hat Man, but she dabbles in such darkness over there. What about the good stuff? What about angels? Has she dealt with them? We'll find out. We'll take calls with Heidi next hour. If you have had night terrors or these kinds of situations, definitely share your story. Well, this morning, ParanormalDate.com went over 111,000 signed-up members. We now head for 112,965 people to go. Free to sign up at ParanormalDate.com. And Tom, if you're over 60?
Well, we're going to keep those numbers going higher and higher. And if you are over 60 or you're 60 plus, we've got you covered too. If you're looking for that person that's just maybe a bit more mature, you can go to ParanormalDate.com/seniors, and there you'll find folks that are 60 plus and people that think like you do. So check it out. It's ParanormalDate.com/seniors.
At ParanormalDate.com, you meet the most fantastic people.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. What brings you here?
Yeah, I'm here to meet someone who understands me.
How so?
Well, I'm into UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, the paranormal, that kind of stuff. But can't seem to find anyone who gets it.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Tom. I gotta go.
Okay, guess that's not your cup of tea. You sure?
Very. Good luck with that.
I can't meet anyone when I'm out, and I really can't find a website for my unique interests. What is one to do?
Have you thought about ParanormalDate.com?
What? Who are you?
I'm a paranormal matchmaker, and it's ParanormalDate.com. It's a website for people looking for people like them. Stuff you like, remember?
Interesting. I'll give it a try.
Well, let's try this again.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hey, I'm Deb. Your profile on ParanormalDate.com looked very interesting. So you really saw a UFO?
Well, yeah. It was so intense, but not as intense as meeting you.
You're an alien chasing flirt, but I kind of like it.
Wow, this ParanormalDate.com thing really works.
Maybe ParanormalDate.com is for you. People with an interest in things they hear on George's show find their match daily. So if you're looking for that special someone with an interest in UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, and of course, the paranormal, come to the dating site inspired by George Norrie. It's always free to search, and if you decide to upgrade to our amazing new features, use promo code GEORGE for a great discount. ParanormalDate.com. You are not alone.
George Norrie with a message from BetterHelp.com. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? BetterHelp.com wants you to start living a happier life today. And if you log on to BetterHelp.com, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/George, they're giving you a special offer to start living a happier life. In less than 48 hours, they can assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online whenever it's convenient for you. Schedule weekly video or phone sessions that are more affordable than traditional offline and in-person counseling, and financial aid is available too. They've helped more than 1 million people take charge of their mental health and can help you too. Visit BetterHelp.com/George. Doesn't matter where you live, they can help you worldwide. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/George. BetterHelp.com.
Real people, real stories.
I have bruising that's all over my arms. 3 weeks after I was on the carnivore, I noticed, I'm looking at my arms, and I said, gee, I don't have any bruises on my arms, and I'm always full of bruises. I can't put my finger on it, but I know something's happening. I have to tell you, that has to be the carnivore.
I've got a Labrador. She can hardly lift herself up off the floor. I won't tell you what the veterinarian said, but the treatment was chemotherapy. And I said, no way. That's when I said, you know what, this could be the ticket. So I started administering it, and she took to it right away. In 3 weeks, you could tell she was very alert. 6 weeks into the protocol, she seemed like she was 100%. She was going on 5-mile walks, and I'm like, my goodness, she is just like prime again.
Call 866-836-8735. That's 866-836-8735. Or visit carnivore.com. That's CARNIVORA.com.
and welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with you, along with Heidi Hollis. Heidi's website is her name, of course, HeidiHollis.com. And Heidi, you talk a lot about the dark side. Have you ever had any angelic experiences or things like that?
Thank goodness, yes, I have. Otherwise, there's no way I'd be able to stand up to any of this stuff. So I had an angelic encounter that showed me a better way of praying. It sounds strange, but like I think a lot of us feel that we're a little bit bored in our prayers, and especially as youngsters growing up. I fell asleep in the middle of my own prayer. So I had this really, how can I say? It's almost like a very lucid dream, but it's one of those types that stays with you for a lifetime. And what I saw was a white-gowned being that was instructing me to observe this person in prayer. And when they were praying, like all the words that they were saying kind of floated up, and they soon formed a picture. But it took some time, and it's like I'm like kind of willing it to form this picture. And then I heard the angelic being say, this is how we communicate with God. And they looked at something in a person's life and took a mental image of what it was that they were seeing and put their imprint on it, like, how can I say, all their concerns about it. And to do it right then and there and send it directly to God right then and there. And it's like, for me, how can I say, I call it picture prayers. And it's like taking this picture in your mind and slapping your thoughts on it like you would glue. And it just didn't take any time. Like I didn't have to take out time for prayer, because prayer took no time at all, because as I go through my days, I started using this to any kind of concern, watching the news, watching somebody, I'm a therapist, and seeing somebody suffer, put my thoughts to it right then and there, and then it became like a conversation almost with God versus, just trying to piece together these images all the time. So, but even more importantly, George, it's so strange. I've just come into the reality of some other understandings outside of Aramon being Hatman. I'd always, as young as I could recall, I would have these experiences where I would go to this place. And the best way I could describe it, it's this other world-like place, but the buildings in this place look very much like ancient Roman, ancient Greek buildings, but the buildings are made of crystal. And they kind of sparkle, and people in white robes and angelic-like beings who were there. And, as a kid, I had severe seizures as a kid. And I would have a seizure, and I'd go to this place.
Have they gone away, by the way, now that you're an adult?
Oh, yeah, I don't have them anymore.
Okay,
but I started having these encounters with going to this place, even not having a seizure, and as an adult. My seizure stopped when I was a kid. But, and now, more recently, this is just so mind-blowing to me. Like, I learned that this is a place that people have described going to. And I thought, oh, maybe I was going to heaven. Maybe I was having an opportunity to see a heaven-like place for some reason and get instruction, believe it or not. It was like a schooling. And turns out people know of this place, and they call them mystery schools. Right. The Great White Brotherhood is another name for this one in particular that I was going to. And
weren't the Rosicrucians the same?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. That is the name. I had no idea. I had no idea of this going on. And, while I was in college, the Rosicrucians reached out to me one time and said something to me that there's just no way they would have any idea, knowing some of my personal understandings and history with some things. And wow, just absolutely just mind-blowing stuff. So I'm learning just about all of this stuff right now, and to know that people aim to go to this place by way of some mechanical means and meditation and drugs even. I'm like, wow, I just went there because that's just where I go. And I still do.
Good for you. Your podcast is called Dark Becomes Light. So it sounds like you're looking for something positive here.
Yes. I mean, I think the more positive experiences are what keep us going. And there's so much darkness. There's so much negativity when it comes to the paranormal. It's horrifying stuff. I know people like going into the stuff for the thrill of it, it's ghost hunting and whatnot. But when you're not looking for it and it's hunting you, it's not fun. So it's definitely a bonus to be able to be in the position that I am, to have people reach out to me and in hopes of helping to show them there is light at the end of the tunnel on these subjects. That they isolate, they depress people and oppress people and then possess people. So it's important that we find these means to raise people up and not judge them necessarily either. I know there's people always say, well, how do you decide if somebody's telling you the truth? And having the background that I do, being an occupational therapist, I work with those who have cognitive and psychological dysfunction, and there's certain things I understand to be a potential red flag that somebody might be mentally ill, but I think also those who are mentally vulnerable like that are targeted by these things. So perhaps they've been targeted so much and not believed for so many years that, that it looks like they're not all with it because they've been so abused by these things and people disowning them. So I think there's a fine line with it all, and I think we should still lend an ear to all people who say this may be going on in their lives.
And they may not even know they're a target, Heidi.
They may not even know, but you know what? I have learned, George, more often than not, people will reach out to me and say, wow, I probably, because I was doing so many drugs or drinking then, that's why this happened to me, or I played with a Ouija board, and I'm like, there's nothing that you could have really done that's worth your soul that you've listed here. I'm pretty sure that, it might have attracted this attention, but when these things keep digging at a person, these negative things, it usually is because that person is gifted in some sense, insightful, very much more advanced in this world, to be honest. It's like they may be the siren that alarms and alerts others, like, hey, there's a dark demon hanging on you. So these things try to oppress people who may help humankind evolve, essentially. It's a really strange thing. And, a lot of this stuff, I'm sitting here talking about angels, and I've had Jesus encounters, I'm talking about shadow people, and I've had UFO encounters and whatnot, too. It sounds like it's disjointed to some people, but it really is all connected.
It is, yeah.
There's a way to handle these topics as we are as humans, which are flawed. It's having a joke or two about it and just being who we are. And, we've got to make more progress on these topics, because the negative things in particular, they're really placing their bets on us not to figure them out. And we need to pull together and drop the ego and, enough is enough, really. So, shadow people, Hat Man, are seen right alongside of alien beings. I had seen some of these things myself, and then here I'm a skeptic of Jesus encounters, and I have an encounter with Christ on more than one occasion, and have documented, been healed by his...
You're not a skeptic anymore, are you?
No, not at all, not at all. And, here I've had angelic encounters, and I'm learning about mystery schools, and oh my goodness, this world is a mystery, and there's a lot of layers and a lot of levels, and I think that there's hope for us to definitely figure it out, and, with a pep in our step, George.
Heidi Hollis with us. Her website, again, is linked up at coasttocoastam.com. We're going to take calls with her next hour. share your own stories of shadow people, Hat Man, and that's something mystical too. And if you've had angel encounters, definitely check into. You've had miracles happen in your life, Heidi, haven't you?
I have. This is something that I haven't shared here on this program, but I had some really, really scary, peculiar medical things happen where, literally, I'm on an operating table for a brain aneurysm that disappeared. Jesus showed up next to the surgical table, and you're awake for these types of surgeries.
You're getting lots of Jesus encounters lately, huh?
Well, not lately. It's been a while. I've had a handful of them, but
no more.
So I have. It's been a while though, but it's not like I'm not a person that sees him that often. It's been a handful of times, and at those moments when it really counted, and so I was really fortunate to have it. It didn't have a brain aneurysm; it was totally gone. So I'm good, but. So it's medical mistakes or medical miracles. I don't know what you would call it, but I'll take it for what it is.
What are you working on now these days, Heidi?
I have a comic strip, paranormal comic strip, the OutlandersComics.com, and so it's Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, all of the good stuff is all in there, and I'm having a good time doing it. So I hope people check it out.
Are you the illustrator too?
I am. I'm a cartoonist as well. Yeah, I've been doing comic strips since, middle school, I think it is. So that's all I ever wanted to be growing up, George, was the comic strip.
Comic strips are still hot, aren't they? They're still in high demand.
Yeah, they are, and really popular. I finally put it on Instagram, the Outlanders Comics, and it's been interesting. I just put it up and decided to go with it. I used to put it on my other websites and whatnot, but Bigfoot never gets old. Shadow people never get old, and throwing it into a comic and having a laugh is great.
We're talking about the shadow people want your soul. Once they get your soul, you're still alive. What has happened to you?
Well, I don't know if everybody always makes it, to be honest. But some of the folks that have written to me that have recovered, when Hatman has ripped their soul out and laughed as he threw them across the room and tried to drag them to see, oh gosh, there's so many crazy stuff, but to go into this hell-like place or laughing about what he's going to do with their bodies, and them just clawing towards their souls and calling out to God to help them. And usually an intervention like that is what allows them access back to their bodies. So, so he's, my goodness, I've had people write about having a fist fight with him, just flying across the yard and throwing trash around and just crazy things, horrible things.
Was there ever a time, Heidi, that you thought these kinds of stories were nuts?
You know what? If anything, I found them painful to read, to know that these were going on with people. And, and just really pulled at my heartstrings to do more, which is why, I get kids that are writing me, 8 years old. So I actually did a kid book, a cartoonist, called The Hat Man, a guide in comics on how to get rid of dark beings for all ages. Because these little kids were writing me, and they're like, Mommy thinks I'm crazy, and I'm like, I can't write back. These are kids. So I'm like, well, tell Mommy to take a look at this kid's book, cartoons on these shadow beings. And,
show this to Mommy.
Yes, exactly. See if I can get this kid's book. And, I think it's been helpful. So, yeah.
We're going to take calls again with Heidi next hour, so get ready to let your fingers do the walking. We'd also like your stories, angelic interventions, shadow people, the Hat Man. Are the shadow people and the Hat Man one and the same?
No, they are not. I used to call Hat Man the Hat Man Shadow, which is why people kind of confuse them now. But Hat Man is actually something very solid, and he directs the shadow people, and he's actually the boss of them. And there's other beings that work under him, the old hag, the Grim Reaper-looking guy. and these small little hooded creatures that are actually aliens with the little perfectly round red glowing eyes.
That's like what we saw in the movie Ghost. Remember that? They would come up out of the sewer?
Yes, it's so funny. A lot of people remind me about that movie. I'm like, I bet whoever designed that saw shadow people. So, and again, I want to remind people, go to shadowfolks.com if they've had these experiences and write me about whatever it is out of the ordinary, because I'm here to try to help people get through these things, too.
You're not a medium, though, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not a medium. I always, people try to put a title on me like, well, you've seen this and you've seen that. And I'm like, I think I got bad luck, but I don't sit there and try to call upon or see something. I don't know, but something does run in the family where we've seen a lot of odd things. So it's not just me and the family.
All right, up next, Heidi Hollis will take your phone call, so get ready. And again, we're talking about shadow people, the Hat Man, strange encounters, angelic experiences. Make the call and let's share one of your stories. Her website is her name, HeidiHollis.com. And she also hosts on the Paranormal Podcast Network, which you can find at coasttocoastam.com. Hers, which is Dark Becomes Light.
We'll get daily show updates right to your inbox for free with the Coast Zone newsletter. Sign up today at coasttocoastam.com.
Radio app. Getting families vaccinated against COVID-19 is an important step to bringing back joy for all of us. That's within reach now that the Pfizer vaccine is proven safe and effective for those 12 and older. This is the same vaccine millions of Californians have already gotten. California is even adding new vaccine clinics specifically for young people. Together, we can end the pandemic. Visit vaccinateall58.com or call 833-422-4255 to learn more.
Still buying bottled water? Really? Eliminate the cost and hassle of buying, it's wasteful plastic water bottles and what it does to the environment. So let me suggest a Life Source Whole House water filtration system where you can have this delicious, clean, filtered water coming out of every tap in your home. And there are no filters to change. Once they install it, no maintenance at all. You actually forget about it. And what the Life Source water system does reduces the odor and taste of chlorine from your water. And not only are you hydrating your body, your skin, your hair will thank you too. You're buying directly from the factory, which provides installation and customer service for the life of your system. They've been around for 36 years here in Southern California, and if you're looking to join a growing team, Life Source is hiring team members in your area. Call 800-334-5009, 800-334-5009. Visit LifeSourceWater.com. Life Source Water. Taste and feel the difference.
Masks don't slow us down. They keep us moving. From the store to the park for a pickup game. At the movies. Or at the gym. Keep wearing a snug-fitting mask with multiple cloth layers. Together, we can end this pandemic. Visit COVID19.ca.gov today to learn more. Brought to you by the Center at Sierra Health Foundation.
KFI AM 640. Well, at least you've decided to listen to KFI. See, you're making progress. KFI AM 640 Los Angeles, Orange County.
And KOST HD2.
It's 5 a.m. What did you miss?
It's time for Wake Up Call with Jennifer Jones Lee.
Well, good morning. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Nice and warm out there. Did you get out and head to the beach? Do something like that? Felt like summer's coming. And then we have today. I was just putting your forecast together.
Let's go straight to the source. National Weather Service. Mostly cloudy today with highs from the mid-60s to the low 70s with a chance of drizzle. Yeah. Did I say summer was coming this weekend? Yeah. Hope my neighbors yelled, "Shut up, lady," over the fence when I said that. Here's what's just ahead on your wake-up call. Murder charges are expected to be filed against 2 people in connection with the road rage killing of a 6-year-old boy on the 55 freeway in Orange. I know for so many people, these arrests came as such welcome news. And how it's gone on for so long, I have no idea. Why did it take this long? Police in Azusa have a guy in custody after a shooting near the Christian University. Coming up at 5:05, we'll talk with ABC's Jim Ryan. It seems that crimes against children have been on the rise.